So as you can see, we've got our butter in the bowl. And you can use any kind of butter that you want. I'm using unsalted Kerrygold, that good Irish butter, but you can use any kind of butter you want. So to this, I'm going to add approximately 7 cloves of garlic, which is, I'm going to use a couple good spoonfuls of this. You can also do this with 1 stick of butter and just kind of gauge how much you're using. But I'm going to use about 1.5 good-sized spoonfuls of that. And to that, I'm going to add about a 1/2 cup of fresh grated Parmesan. Like I said, you can't have garlic Parmesan without garlic or Parmesan. In fact, thinking about it, I'm going to add a little bit more of this garlic. Okay, and then we're going to add our parsley to this. So, which I've already chopped up, roughly about, I guess, a 1/2 cup, 1/4 to a 1/2 cup. Don't need a lot, and it adds some good flavor to it, but it also adds a really, really nice color. So now I'm going to mix this up and wait till you see it. So as you see, we have this mixed up into a nice, spreadable garlic Parmesan spread. Oh, this is going to be marvelous. Oh, I can't wait to put this on some bread, which you can put this on bread by itself and put it in a 425-degree oven for about 5 or 6 minutes and have yourself a nice little side dish for whatever you're cooking. But we're going to take it a step further. We're also making some homemade marinara sauce that I learned from a friend of mine in Texas. And then we're going to go to town. What we're doing now is we are preheating the sauce pot because we're going to make our homemade marinara sauce. Now for that, we're going to use San Marzano peeled tomatoes. These are whole tomatoes. If you can't find the San Marzanos, you can use like your whole peeled tomatoes. That's perfectly fine. We're also going to be using tomato paste, a couple spoonfuls. And we'll use other things as I'll show you as we go along. Right now we're preheating that, and we're preheating the oven to 425 degrees. So I'll see you when they get there. All right, so now we're going to make our marinara sauce. Now, something to remember about this is that you want to let it simmer for about 30 minutes after you get everything mixed up. But I tell you, this is really good. I don't even buy jarred sauce anymore. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to put like a little bit of olive oil in there. And then I've got some onions that I diced up last night and put back in the fridge. And I'm going to dump those in there. And you don't have to use onions if you don't like them. I know some people don't like them, but it really adds a lot to the sauce. I like to use about half an onion. I'm actually using a whole onion because I really, smelling that already. Oh, this is going to be good. Stir those in, and you want to get them to where they're translucent, but not fully caramelized. It won't take long. You just kind of have to eyeball it and watch it. I like to stir them, make sure they get into all that oil, and you want to incorporate that. There we go. Smells so good, folks, I tell you. And we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so now that we have our onions pretty much sauteed and cooked to where they're nice and translucent, we're going to make a little space. What we're going to do now is we're going to put in probably about the equivalent of about 3 cloves of garlic. So, and we're only going to do that for about a minute because you don't want the garlic to burn. You just want it to become aromatic, and that will not take long at all. And then we're going to start putting in our tomatoes. You'll see. Oh, it's smelling really good. You can really smell that garlic coming out. I tell you, once you try this one time, you probably will be hard pressed to buy a jarred sauce again. I'm real picky about my marinara sauces, and I've just had a lot that just kind of fell short. But I'd rather take the extra effort and make it myself, because I know what I like, as I'm sure y'all do too. Oh, there we go, looking good. So now we're going to start with the whole tomatoes, in this case, San Marzanos. San Marzano tomatoes come from around the Naples region of Italy, generally speaking, and they're a little more slender than your normal tomatoes. But one thing to remember about this is that, this is the kind I'm using, Cento. I got these at Walmart. Is that, if you see how that is, how slender, you want to get your hand in there and squeeze slowly, because these will squirt and they will pop everywhere. But you want to reach into the can and get every single tomato. And oh man, these are rich tomatoes too. They smell wonderful. But you want to just kind of hand crush them on in there, because it'll all break down into the sauce, and it'll incorporate very nicely. And there's quite a few tomatoes in this can. Yep, there you see, squirt. Oh yeah, here we go. And also, I've got a friend of mine who is a really wonderful cook himself, and he will be my guest chef on this channel from time to time. And he's absolutely amazing. You'll like what Mark has to teach you. First-rate food. I don't believe in awful food around here, because food, to me, food is a celebration of the senses. It's not just for nourishment. But, you know, times being tight, you got to make do with what you've got. So, here we are. But once again, I'm doing this over medium-high heat. Okay, getting kind of down to the bottom here. There's a lot of tomatoes in this can. And like I said, if you can't find the San Marzanos, you can use Hunt's peeled tomatoes, or if you want to use the finely diced crushed ones, you can do that too. Whatever you like. It's up to you. There are things that I put in my dish that you may not like, but hey, that's the beautiful thing about it. You can add or take away whatever you want. I'm going to pour in the rest of the sauce. And that'll do it for the scoop out all the rest of it here. All right. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, I just turned it up to high heat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a couple good-sized spoons of tomato paste. About 2 tablespoons, generally speaking, thereabouts. Lower the heat down a little bit because it's starting to splatter. I'm going to give that a quick stir to incorporate it. There we go. Now, if you've ever had a lot of tomato sauces and marinara sauces, pizza sauces, whatever, if you've ever noticed, a lot of times it's got a real acidic taste to it. So we're going to neutralize some of that acid. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of sugar. It doesn't take much. It's not going to make it sweet, but it is going to neutralize a lot of that acid taste. Then we're going to give it a good splash, about a tablespoon or two of balsamic vinegar. I'm going to stir that in there. Yeah, that's looking righteous. And you don't need a lot of balsamic vinegar either. And yeah, that's got acid in it too, but it goes so well with the very flavor of the sauce. Then we're going to add in a little bit of salt, about that much. Stir that in. Then we're going to cover this, turn the heat down to about a medium-low, maybe slightly lower than that, and we're going to simmer it for 30 minutes. So see you in a little bit. As you can see, it's thickening up nicely. We still have a little ways to go, but oh, this is coming along so nice. And this is also great for like spaghetti sauce. Just brown up your ground meat and then pour this on top of it once it's fully browned. And you got some great spaghetti sauce. All right. Got a little bit more. Let that simmer. Kind of thicken up a tad. And we'll see you when it's ready. All right, we're going to give this a final stir. And I'm going to call this done. At least this part of it anyway. So, oven's up to temp, so let me show you what we're going to do with that. All right, so here's what we got. I've got 2 of these sub rolls that I've cut in half, and we're going to spread the garlic parmesan spread on these, and we're going to put them in a 425 degree oven for about 5 minutes. So as you can see, you don't need a whole lot, but by all means don't skimp on it either. And like I said before, if you want to just put it in the oven on like a piece of bread or whatever, and make just a garlic bread, like if you want to put on Texas toast, you can certainly do that. But I like to give mine a good little covering of spread. Here's 1, 3 more to go. And I apologize, I don't have a videographer. I kind of have to do this on my own. But this is my inaugural video, and I hope it serves you guys well. Oh, this spreads like, well, butter. Maybe because it is. Anyway, once we get all of these prepped up, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna put them in for about 5 minutes just to kind of crisp it up a little bit, give it a little toastiness. Then what we're gonna do is take them out, add the sauce, cheese, and the pepperoni. And I'll definitely be covering that here in a little bit. All right. And if you hear what sounds like scratching at the door, that's my cats wanting out. But I didn't want them interrupting the video. Yes, I have 2 of them. I have patience. Because if I didn't have them sequestered in the room, they would be sniffing at this, and it'd be really hard to control. All right, so here, sorry if I was off camera for a bit, but there we go. We've got 4 of these. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to put these in a 425 degree oven for about 5 minutes. See you in a little bit. All right, so now we're going to pull the bread out of the oven because it's been about 5 minutes. There we go. That's hot, even with a oven mitt. All right, and let me show you what we have here. I've got two kinds of cheeses here. My first choice, and I've got some extra cheese in case I need it, whole milk mozzarella. When I can find it, this is what I prefer because it melts so nicely. Now I've got some part skim mozzarella cheese that's been mixed with provolone if I need it, but this is what I'm going to use. So, first thing we're going to do though is we move the camera a little closer. I'm going to put the sauce on these. They are hot, so I'm going to be careful. And I'm going to put a good dollop of the marinara on here. You want to, doesn't have to cover the entire rim, the entire surface of the bread, but hey, it makes it better if you do. At least in my opinion. Either way, make it the way you like it. Enjoy. And I tell you what, oh man, this is going to be good. And if you guys make this for yourselves, please leave me some comments below and tell me how you liked it. Tell me how it turned out. And if there's something else that you do different, by all means, let me know. Because once we get these all sauced up, we're going to add the cheese and the pepperoni. Now you see I'm not adding too much. I want to kind of get it spread out a good bit. Okay. Almost there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I just had a taste of that marinara sauce, and it is perfect. All right. So now, again, I'm using whole milk mozzarella. Like I said, I love the way this stuff melts, and I love the rich flavor of it. But I'm just going to put a nice bed of it on here. With the marinara still warm, kind of, maybe you can see it, even the very ends of the mozzarella are starting to melt a little bit. So it melts really easy. Oh, yeah. I love to cook, can't you tell? I'll tell you what, if you guys ever stop in for a visit, if you leave my place hungry, it's your own fault. There's nothing I love better than to feed folks and show them how to cook, or, you know, at least how to make the things that I know how to make. I mean, I'm not a trained chef. I'm kind of a sort of a pseudo home gourmet type of person. Put a little more cheese over here. There we go. All right, so now we're going to hit it with a pepperoni. Now the pepperoni, have you ever gone to a place and gotten a pepperoni pizza and you might get like 1 or 2 or 4 pieces of pepperoni? Well, I don't play that. I've got this 1 pound, 5 ounce package of pepperoni. Now obviously I'm not going to be using all of that. But what I do like to do is I like to overlap them. I've done this on French and Italian bread before. There's a lot more surface area to put a lot more pepperoni on. But you see the way I'm doing it, because what's going to happen is these are going to curl up and they're going to crisp up. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on top, but not a lot, just enough to kind of cement it down and make sure the pepperonis don't fall off. I mean, they will, but not as bad. So yeah, there we go. There's one. And don't skimp on the pepperoni, folks. Seriously. If you're going to make a pepperoni pizza or a garlic bread pizza like this, make a garlic bread pizza. And is this the only way to make it? No. I mean, if you want to put sausage and mushrooms or whatever you want on it, by all means do so. This is just one way to do it. I've done this with ground sausage, and that's still an experiment in the making. But it's great with mushrooms. The mushrooms really lend themselves well with this, especially when you got pepperoni. But, oh yeah, but there are some people out there that don't like mushrooms. Me, I love them. I got to have my fungus fix every now and again. All right, come on, you. But as you see, I'm putting the pepperoni on heavy. Kind of like laying a carpet of meat. I don't know about you, but I'm a definite carnivore. But with this one, I figure I'm getting my vegetables, I'm getting my dairy, I'm getting my bread. You got all 4 food groups. I don't know why people think pizza is so unhealthy. Pardon me for talking your head off, but I figured I'd keep you company while you're watching me do this. And we are about ready to put this in. Now, when we put it in, we're going to put it in at the same temperature, 425. I did not turn the oven off, but we're only going to put it in for about 10 more minutes. And then we'll be able to call it done. So now I'm going to take more of the mozzarella and I'm going to put it on top. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. You don't have to go crazy with it. It'll melt around and on top of the pepperoni and glue it down. At least that's the theory. I don't think I'll be needing that other bag of cheese. I think I've got this pretty well covered, no pun intended. Pepperonis are already wanting to slide off of this thing, but they'll curl up in the oven. I just got to be careful putting them in. All right, see you in about 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Let's pull them out of the oven, see what they look like. And here we go. Come here, you. All right. All right, I'm going to grab the camera so we can take a look here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? See what I mean about the cheese melted? And it browns up so nice too. Just a little bit of golden on there. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half, which makes them a lot more manageable. And I probably don't need to say this, but these are going to be seriously hot. So be careful handling these. And also, you want to let them cool down because, I don't know about you, but I've been eager beaver to eat pizza. Forgetting how hot it was, took a bite, and wound up with pizza burns on the roof of my mouth. Now that is no fun. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. All right. Hear that crunch? Oh yeah. Oh ho ho. Beautimus. Beautimus. Okay. Move those off to the side. Ow, that's hot. Oh yeah. It's going to be amazing. And like I said, these are just little sub rolls. But, and as you see, pepperoni kind of curled up a little bit. And that's it. But if you take a look how beautiful those are. Anyway, folks, enjoy. This is Wolf signing off from Wolf's Kitchen.